let's talk about joiner and then we will go to the filter. Okay, so now we have transaction control. We'll demonstrate that as well. So here, see, we have transaction control. We'll discuss this also with a use case.
Okay.
Yeah. So now here I'm going to have m underscore joiner demo. Right. Now here for joiner, I'll use source as src underscore customers, one of the sources. I'll have one more src underscore orders. Now let's configure this as Oracle connection. So first table will be the customers. Second table we will select as orders. And then I'll pull up the joiner. Okay, so joiner, if I expand this, right, I do have one as a master flow, other one as a detailed flow, right? So I'll just have them connected. Then if I go to the joiner transformations properties, I can say JNRCUSTORD. Now if I go to the incoming fields, right, if you see, I see one error message over here, field name conflict detected. To make the field name unique, rename fields in the previous transformation, change the renaming options in the transformation field rule, or click here to resolve. Why we have this conflict? Because in both the flows I do have a customer ID as a column with exactly same nomenclature, right? And then now Informatica is in fix that if I say customer ID, then which customer ID to go for? Customer ID coming from my detail flow, which is from the orders, or customer ID from the master flow, which is coming from the customer table, right? So that is why we have to rename the fields. And to rename the fields, what it is suggesting, either you go to the previous transformation and rename, or click here to resolve, right? So I can go to this, right, and then in the fields I can rename it. So if I go to options and edit metadata, here I can rename the field. This is one way of doing it, right? Or it might be a little bit confusing, right, how and where we have renamed the field. So best option is to go to joiner only, and then in the incoming fields I do have this automated option, resolve field name conflicts. So if I click on this, then I'll be able to provide bulk renaming options across
Okay, sir.
all the
Mhm.
columns from the particular flow. Okay,
Okay.
so customers, I can just have a prefix or a suffix or a pattern. If I say prefix customer table, I can just have cust underscore, or as it is a master
Mm.
flow, right, I can say mst
Math.
underscore. Okay. And then even if I do the renaming for one flow, it is okay, right, because anyways my fields are getting renamed. But then
Mm.
for uniformity, I'll just have this also as dtl underscore. Click OK, and then you see over here some fields were renamed to resolve conflicts. Click this to edit. Now if I scroll down, all the fields from the detail table, which is orders, are renamed as dtl underscore and that of mst underscore. Okay, now my field names are unique. Now I can go to join condition, and then I can have join type as normal join, master outer, detail outer, and full outer. Same types we have in the Power Center. Normal join is equivalent to the inner join, where we will take only matching records across master and detail ahead. When I say master outer, then matching records from master table and all the records from detail table. Detail outer only matching records from detail table and all the records from master table. Full outer matching non-matching both the records from the different flows, we can take it ahead. For now I'll go for the normal join, and then if I click plus, I can select mst underscore customer id. Anyways, I'm going to join on customer id only, and then detail underscore customer id. Now here if you observe that the data types also different. So customer id in the master table is double, and then the
Yeah.
customer id in the detail table is decimal. And this we have done by purpose, right? Whenever we created ddls, right, we deliberately had these two fields with different data types so that we can cover this scenario. Okay, so now ideally I should make them uniform, right? Double. So either both should be double or both should be decimal. So how do I do that, right? Currently if I go ahead, it will not show me any error message, right? But then in the runtime it might fail, right? Because it might not be matching, exactly matching, right? Or this is still numeric, right? But in some cases I may have string and integer. In that case I have to kind of definitely convert it, right? So how do I do that, right? So for that, now we will explore that option to go to source transformation, go to fields, click on options, say edit metadata, and this customer, right, I'll make it as decimal. Okay, now this edit metadata, I can rename the fields, I can change the data types as well, right? But while changing the data types, right, I need to be a little bit diligent about what data type I'm changing to. So decimal to double, double to decimal is okay, as those are numeric data types, right? Integer to decimal, again, that is okay, right? But can I do like integer to string over here? Maybe I can do that. Can I do string to integer? No, right? Though I can just mark it over here. If I have field like string marked as string, if I make it as integer over here, here I can do that, right? And he can save also, but it will fail because string and integer are two completely different data types, right? Numeric to numeric is still okay, right? But string to integer, I'll have to use specific typecasting operator, right? To number, right? Or vice versa, to char character, right? So those things I have to do. I have to convert those data types like typecasting in the expression transformation, and then only I can use it. As it is like string to sorry, integer into integer, that is, I can still do it in the edit metadata. So the point is, though we have this edit metadata option, we can't use it for anything, right? Whenever the typecasting is really required, we'll have to use the expression. Now if I come back to the joiner join condition, both are decimal. Okay, so now we are good. Okay, now I'll just join this to my target, and then let me check if I have customer orders table. Yeah, I do have. I believe I have it. So what I'll do is I'll just go to target, select Oracle, select some orders. Let's select this, click OK. Yeah. So now I'll keep it as truncate load. I'll go to field mappings. As this is a existing table, we'll have to map the fields across. So now what I'll do is like customer ID is coming from my customer ID only. If I just say smart map, yeah, here the first name and last name are still not mapped as we are getting it right with the prefix. So I'll have to do that. do it manually. Full name I don't have over here coming. I don't have expression also. Email I can map manually. And that's it for now. Any other field I can bring in? No. Only order IDs I'm mapping from the order flow. Yeah. Okay. So I'll save this. Okay. And the mapping is valid. Means I can run it. Not a problem.